YouTube? Welcome to my channel where we discuss dating and all the things dating, right? I'm your host, Yashika Foster, and you are watching the Art of Dating YouTube channel. Let's get started with today's video. So today we are talking about the 5 things you need to know when dating over 40. I already know that this is going to be a 2-part video because there were so many things. So many things that we need to know when dating over 40, right? But today we are just going to talk about the first 5, okay? So, dating over 40, what do you need to know? Number 1, dating is not the same as it used to be when you were younger, right? Just as all things, like your hair is not the same, the way you dress is not the same, the car you drive is not the same, the things that you like in life are not the same. So dating is not going to be the same. There was a time where, in the 90s or even in the early 2000s when we were younger, where we would date, we would meet people from, like, we would go to different establishments, whether it be the club or we would go to a house party or some type of party where we would meet people. It would be people that you went to school with or the neighborhood or whatever. We're not doing that anymore, okay? The neighborhood that I live in, I don't think there's any single men over here, period, right? There's no more house parties. There's no more clubbing. There's no more any of that because remember, we are over 40. So there's just certain things that we're not even going to be involved in because of age alone. Me personally, I'm not hanging out at the club, okay? So there's just certain things that it's just not going to happen. And I know some of us, like I am an avid Amazon shopper, okay? I think I get packages delivered on average twice a week from Amazon. Unfortunately, I've scanned the Amazon, I went to the different categories, and there's no men in there, there's no women in there, there's none of that in there, no live people, right? I can get some fake people or some people that are made of plastic, but not any humans with a real heartbeat, right? So we have to become very adventurous as far as how we meet people. We got to be creative, right? So sometimes that means that you have to go outside your comfort zone in order to meet someone because they're not going to be in your neighborhood. If you don't go to establishments such as clubs or bars or things like that, then you're not going to meet them. But I say that every now and then, it's all right to go to a bar and hang out, or go to an after-hour joint and hang out, and then that way you can meet somebody. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, make sure that you are ready to date, right? Because I don't know how long it's been since your last relationship. If it's been months and months or years, that makes a difference. So if it's been months, if it's been months since your last relationship, you may have to take some time off, especially depending on how long you were in that relationship with that person. If you were in the relationship with someone for years, I don't think that you should just jump right back out there and date. That's just my opinion. That's just what I'm saying because I think there's some healing to do. However, if you know that you've taken the time, you've done the work, you went through your healing journey of that last relationship, then fine, go out there and date. But before going out here and a date, make sure that you are ready to date. I say it again, make sure that you are ready to date because the game has changed, okay? So you got to literally strap up your boots and get ready, all right? Number 3, make sure you know what your deal breakers are, okay? If you have specific deal breakers, for example, if you're one of the people that say, well, my person that I date need to make a certain amount of money, then make sure you stick to that. If you're a person that says, well, I don't want my person that I date because I am over 40 to have children under the age of 18, right? You have your reasons for being that way, but make sure you know what your deal breakers are, okay? And if you see something that you may not like, don't think that that person is going to change in that aspect, all right? If you prefer your person to, I don't know, have a car, I know that sounds so elementary, but it is true. But if you are a person that meets someone and they don't have a car, and you know that your deal breaker is making sure that a person is able to, do things on their own as an adult and they don't have a car, then you may not want to waver on that because here's the thing. If you waver on that and then it comes a time where you need them to drive, right? Or you need them to be the person that picks you up If they don't have no car, how are they going to do that? But then you'll turn around and get mad about it. So know what your deal breakers are. And if you're stern on your deal breakers, then expect it the way it is and don't expect that person to show up any differently. All right? Period. Period, period, period. All right? Because I hear so many people talking about, well, I thought that they would change. I thought that they were going to do this. No, people are who they are and you have to meet them where they are. And if you expecting something different, then you need to get somebody different, because the odds are, once you meet a person that's over 40, they're pretty much stuck in their ways about what they're going to do, how they're going to behave, and where their priorities are in life. So you remember that. All right. So number 4, don't talk bad about your ex. Do I need to explain that? Don't talk bad about your ex. Or if you are in a conversation or you are on a date with somebody and you start talking about your ex, more than likely they're going to feel some kind of way about that, right? So don't talk about your ex, and specifically don't talk bad about your ex, because the way that they view you, or the way you view your ex, is the way that they're going to view you. So their first thinking process is, well, if that person was so bad, then why did you stay with them that long? Well, if that person did this, then why did you allow that? Then that means that that must be who you are, because remember, we date who we are. Okay? So you remember that. If it's something that you just gotta say, make sure you keep it light, make sure you keep it simple, and don't say anything negative, because trust me, for most people, that is a big turnoff when you're talking to them and you're talking to them and talking bad about your ex. So don't do it. Don't do it. All right. Now, the last one for this particular episode, which is part 1 of what not to do, or what things you need to know when dating over 40. Do not compare the person that you're talking to now to someone that you dated in the past. Now, I'm not saying that you will outright say it out loud, or you will necessarily, speak how you feel. Well, you know what? My ex did this and you don't do that. I'm not saying that people do that. But mentally, right, you'll compare this person to your ex. Maybe your ex was better looking. Maybe your ex was taller. Maybe your ex treated you a certain way. Maybe your ex did certain things. Maybe your ex took initiative on certain things that this person is not doing. And so therefore, if you start to compare them to your ex, and when you do that, you're setting the situation up to not succeed, right? And then on top of that, you're trying to make them be something that they're not, which is your ex. And then you'll automatically start to chip away as to why you don't want to be with that person. And that person may be a good person for you. But for whatever reason, you're comparing them to your ex, and you guys know that you cannot do that. You don't want to be compared to anybody. Okay, you don't want to be compared to somebody's ex and say, well, you know what? My ex was a lot younger, or my ex had, wrinkles, smooth, wrinkle-free skin, whatever, right? You don't want to compare anybody to your ex or anyone you've dated in the past, because it's automatically saying that that person that you're now speaking with is not good enough for you. And trust me, those vibes are going to be felt when you're dating them, right? Whether it's in person, on the phone, or whatever, because you're going to do some things, you're going to say some things, you're going to, sometimes punch them in the gut with something. Well, why did you do that? So-and-so didn't do that. And you will do it before you know it. So you really have to be cognizant of what you're doing when you're out here dating, okay? And I know that it seems so elementary, but trust me when I tell you that people have a concept that dating is just dating, and that there's no rules or anything like that. And that's not true, because the things that we did when we were younger, we cannot do now. We have to allow people to be who they are and give them grace. And I think the older that we are, the more we start to realize that, at least some of us. But then there's some of us who do not understand that. They still have this mind frame about what they think people should do, how they think people should behave, and they do everything they can to make sure that the person they're dating fits into that idea that they have about their person that they should be dating, or the person that they're dating, right? They have this idea about what right looks like. Why? Because they're stuck, right? They're stuck, okay? I've had people to say things to me, just to give a little share a little story. I had a gentleman that I was talking to pretty much tell me that he prefers women that are almost virgins. Okay. Now, mind you, we're in our 40s, right? I've been married twice personally. But when he said it to me, I had to think about that for a minute. And I had to think about this man's life and what he had been through. And I said, okay, he's not for me because he's still stuck in that 20-year-old mindset. Okay, because anytime you get a woman that's in her 40s, the odds are she's not a virgin and she has had at least 2 sex partners. Period. At least 2. So the odds of you getting somebody that's in their 40s that has never been had sex or never engaged in any sexual activities, or even to have, only been with 1 or 2 people, is slim to none. It's like trying to find, this ideal person in this world. And I mean, I'm not saying that they don't exist, but the odds are you're going to have a hard time finding them. So don't set yourself up for failure, and understand that what you thought was acceptable in your younger years are not acceptable as you go into that midlife, which is 40 and beyond. All right. So I don't know who this video was for, but be sure to catch part 2 of this video where I talk about the other 5 things of the things you need to know when dating over 40. And if this is your first time in my channel, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so when I do post a video, you'll know. And put a comment below and let me know if there was something that you were able to take from this video, if there's something that you don't agree with, something you do agree with. But anyway, put the comment below. And also, any suggestions of any future videos that you'd like me to address, you could put them down below, or simply email me at coachshika@onemore-step.com, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.